thought running away would keep us safe. I was wrong. The knock on my apartment door came at 11:47 p.m. on a Tuesday, 3 sharp raps that made my blood turn to ice. I knew that knock. Controlled. Deliberate. The kind of knock that said the person on the other side wasn't asking permission to enter. My son, Minjae, was asleep in the next room. 3 years old, dark hair, eyes that looked too much like his father's. I'd spent the last 4 years making sure those eyes never saw the man who put them there. Another knock. Harder this time. My hand trembled as I reached for the doorknob. Every instinct screamed at me to grab Minjae and run. But we were on the 4th floor of a Boston apartment building at midnight. There was nowhere left to run. I opened the door. Kang Taehyun stood in the hallway like a shadow made flesh. For 4 years. 4 years since I disappeared in the middle of the night with nothing but a backpack and the secret growing inside me. 4 years since I'd seen his face, smelled his scent, felt the weight of his presence crushing the air from my lungs. He looked exactly the same. Tall, broad shoulders wrapped in an expensive black coat. Sharp jawline, eyes so dark they swallowed light. His scent hit me like a physical blow. Pine and steel and something deeper. Something that made my body remember things I'd spent 4 years trying to forget. Yoon-woo, he said, and my name in his mouth sounded like a death sentence. I gripped the doorframe to keep from swaying. How did you find me? Did you really think you could hide from me forever? His voice was quiet, controlled, the kind of control that came right before an explosion. My heart hammered against my ribs. You need to leave. No. He stepped forward and I instinctively moved back. His eyes tracked the movement, something dark and hungry flickering across his face. We need to talk. We have nothing to talk about. Don't we? He tilted his head slightly, his gaze moving past me into the apartment. I think we have quite a bit to discuss, starting with my son. The world stopped. My lungs forgot how to work. My hands went numb. He knew. God help me, he knew. I don't know what you're talking about, I said, but my voice shook so badly the lie was obvious. Taehyun's expression didn't change. He reached into his coat and pulled out a photograph. Even from where I stood, I could see it clearly. Minjae and me at the park 2 weeks ago. Minjae on the swings, laughing. His face caught in perfect profile, a face that was unmistakably Taehyun's. His name is Minjae, Taehyun said softly. He's 3 years old. He likes dinosaurs and hates broccoli. He calls you Appa and has nightmares about monsters under his bed. Tears burned behind my eyes. Stop. You took him from me. For the first time, emotion cracked through Taehyun's control. Raw, jagged. You took my son and you ran, and you let me think for 4 years that you were dead. You didn't want him, I shot back, my voice breaking. You made that very clear. What are you talking about? The night I told you I was pregnant. The memory felt like glass in my throat. You said it was impossible, that I must have been with someone else. You called me a liar and told me to get out. Taehyun went completely still. His scent shifted, he turning sharp and bitter. That's not what happened. Yes, it is. Tears spilled down my cheeks now, hot and angry. You rejected us, so I left. And I've spent 4 years making sure my son never has to feel unwanted by his own father. Yoon-woo. Taehyun's voice dropped to something dangerous, something that made every hair on my body stand on end. I never said any of that. Don't lie to me, I whispered. I was there. I heard you. You heard someone. His jaw clenched so hard I could see the muscle jumping. But it wasn't me. Before I could process what that meant, a small voice cut through the tension. Appa. My heart stopped. Minjae stood in the hallway behind me, rubbing his eyes with one small fist. His favorite dinosaur pajamas were rumpled from sleep. His dark hair stuck up in every direction. He looked so small, hair so vulnerable, and he was staring directly at Taehyun. Who's that? Minjae asked, his voice still thick with sleep. I moved without thinking, positioning myself between my son and the Alpha, who could destroy everything I'd built. No one, baby. Go back to bed. But Minjae wasn't looking at me anymore. His eyes were locked on Taehyun with the kind of intense focus only children had. Like he was trying to solve a puzzle. Taehyun's entire body had gone rigid. His scent flooded the hallway, thick and overwhelming, and I watched in horror as recognition flickered across Minjae's face. No, 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 no. You smell like me, Minjae said, his little voice full of wonder. Taehyun dropped to one knee, bringing himself to Minjae's eye level. His hands were shaking. I could see them trembling at his sides, like he was physically restraining himself from reaching out. What's your name? Taehyun asked, his voice so gentle it made my chest ache. Minjae. My son tilted his head, studying Taehyun with those two sharp eyes. Are you my daddy? The word hit like a bomb. Taehyun's face cracked open. Every carefully maintained wall shattered in an instant, leaving nothing but raw, devastating emotion. He looked at Minjae like he was staring at a miracle, like he was seeing the sun for the first time after years of darkness. Yes, Taehyun whispered. I am. Minjae smiled, bright and innocent and completely unaware that he'd just set our entire world on fire. Cool, he said. Appa told me you were a superhero. Are you? I couldn't breathe, couldn't think, couldn't do anything but watch as Taehyun's eyes met mine over Minjae's head. And in that gaze, I saw everything. Rage, betrayal, hurt, love. The word felt like a punch to the gut. Minjae, I said, my voice sharper than I intended. Bed, now. My son's smile faltered. He looked between me and Taehyun, confusion clouding his features. But Appa, I just met my daddy. Can't I stay up a little longer? No. I reached for his hand, pulling him gently behind me. It's late. We'll talk in the morning. But, morning, I repeated, firmer this time. Minjae's lower lip trembled. For a second, I thought he might cry, and guilt twisted through my chest like a knife. But he just nodded, small and defeated, and shuffled back toward his room. Good night, Daddy, he called over his shoulder. Taehyun's breath caught audibly. Good night. We Minjae. I waited until I heard the soft click of Minjae's door before turning back to Taehyun. He was still kneeling on the floor, his hands braced against his thighs like he needed the support to stay upright. Get up, I said. He did, slowly, like his body weighed 1,000 pounds. We stood there in the doorway, the space between us crackling with 4 years of silence and lies and hurt. His scent wrapped around me, suffocating and familiar, and I hated how much my body wanted to lean into it. How much some broken part of me still recognized him as home. You need to leave, I said. I'm not going anywhere. You don't get to make that choice. Yes, Taehyun said, his voice dropping to something dark and final. I do, I laughed. It came out bitter and sharp. Of course you do. Because you're the big bad alpha, and I'm just the omega who dared to run. Is that it? His jaw tightened. That's not what this is about. Then what is it about, Taehyun? You show up here in the middle of the night, tell me you know about Minjae, and now you expect me to what? Welcome you with open arms? Pretend the last 4 years didn't happen? I expect you to tell me the truth, he said, starting with who told you I rejected our child, because it sure as hell wasn't me. The certainty in his voice made something cold settle in my stomach. What are you talking about? The night you disappeared. Taehyun stepped closer, and I forced myself not to back away. I came home and you were gone. No note, no explanation. Your phone was disconnected. It was like you'd vanished into thin air. Stop lying. I'm not. His eyes burned into mine. I tore this city apart looking for you. I hired investigators. I called in every favor I had. And then 6 months later, they told me you were dead. My breath stopped. What? Someone sent me proof, Taehyun continued, his voice hollow. Photos of a car accident, a body burned beyond recognition, dental records that match yours. I mourned you, Yoonwoo. I spent 3 years believing you were dead. The floor tilted beneath me. That's impossible. I've been alive this whole time. I know that now. His hands curled into fists at his sides, which means someone went through a lot of trouble to make me think otherwise. My mind spun, trying to make sense of what he was saying. Wait, why would anyone do that? I don't know. Taehyun's gaze held mine, intense and unwavering. But I'm going to find out. Starting with who you talked to the night you left. The memory surfaced like broken glass. Your brother. Taehyun went completely still. Jaewon. He said you sent him. My voice shook. He told me you wanted to talk. So I met him at that coffee shop near your apartment, and he said, I stopped, the words catching in my throat. What did he say? Taehyun's voice was dangerously quiet. That you knew about the pregnancy, that you were furious, that you said the child couldn't be yours, and if I tried to trap you with it, you'd destroy me. Tears burned behind my eyes again. He said you never wanted to see me again. Taehyun's scent exploded. Pure rage, sharp and metallic, flooding the hallway so intensely I actually stumbled back. His eyes had gone dark, his whole body vibrating with barely contained violence. He what? I believed him, I whispered. He's your brother. Why wouldn't I believe him? Because Jaewon is a manipulative bastard who's wanted everything I have since we were children. Taehyun's voice was shaking now. Including you. The implication hit me like cold water. What? He was in love with you. Taehyun laughed, but there was no humor in it. He thought if he could get you away from me, he'd have a chance. And you gave him exactly what he wanted. No. I shook my head. No, that doesn't make sense. He helped me leave. He gave me money, set up a new identity. He isolated you, Taehyun cut in. He made you dependent on him. And then what? Did he try to contact you after you left? My mouth went dry. He had. Jaewon had called me 3 times in the first year, asking how I was, if I needed anything, if I'd thought about coming back. I'd thought he was being kind. Oh, God, I breathed. He used my voice. Taehyun's hands were shaking now. That night you think you talked to me? That was him. He can mimic voices perfectly when he wants to. It's a trick he learned as a kid. The walls were closing in. My chest felt too tight. Why are you telling me this? Because you need to understand something. Taehyun stepped forward, close enough that his scent wrapped around me like a living thing. I never rejected you. I never rejected our son. And I never stopped looking for you. Then why did it take you 4 years to find me? Because someone very powerful wanted to make sure I didn't. His voice dropped. And 3 months ago, that someone made a mistake. What kind of mistake? Taehyun pulled out his phone and showed me a photo. It was surveillance footage, grainy and dark, but clear enough to see 2 figures. One of them was unmistakably Jaewon. The other was a woman I didn't recognize. That's Jaewon with Senator Park's assistant, Taehyun said. The same senator who pushed through the legislation that would have bankrupted my company if I didn't marry his daughter. My blood ran cold. What? I was being blackmailed, Taehyun said flatly. Marry into the Park family or lose everything. And conveniently, right around the time the pressure started, you disappeared. You think Jaewon and the Parks worked together? I know they did. His eyes met mine. And I'm going to prove it. But first, I need to make sure you and Minjae are safe. Safe from what? Taehyun's expression went dark. From whoever is desperate enough to fake your death and separate a child from his father. A door opened down the hall. Minjae's voice called out, small and scared. Appa, I heard yelling. I turned, my heart breaking at the fear in his voice. It's okay, baby. Everything's... The lights went out. All of them. The hallway. The apartment. The entire building plunged into darkness, so complete I couldn't see my own hands. Taehyun's hand found mine in the blackness. His grip was iron. Don't move. Minjae, I'll get him. Stay here. Like hell I will. A sound cut through the darkness. Their footsteps, multiple sets, coming up the stairs. And they were getting closer. Screw this. I yanked my hand free from Taehyun's grip and bolted toward Minjae's room. The darkness didn't matter. I'd walked this hallway 1,000 times. I knew every creaky floorboard, every corner, every inch of space between me and my son. Yunwoo, wait! Taehyun hissed behind me. I ignored him. My hand found Minjae's doorknob, twisted it, and I stumbled into his room. The faint glow from his dinosaur nightlight was the only source of illumination, casting everything in eerie green shadows. Minjae was sitting up in bed, his eyes wide and frightened. Appa, come here, baby. I scooped him up, his small body trembling against mine. We're going to play a game, okay? A really quiet game. I don't like this game, Minjae whispered, his fingers clutching my shirt. I know, me neither. Taehyun appeared in the doorway, his silhouette broad and imposing. The fire escape. Now. Who's out there? I demanded, already moving toward the window. Does it matter? Yes, actually, it does. I shifted Minjae to my hip, using my free hand to unlock the window. Because if you brought danger to my door, I swear to God. Our door, Taehyun corrected, his voice tight. And I didn't bring anyone. They followed me. The footsteps in the hallway stopped. Right outside my apartment door. My heart slammed against my ribs. How many? 3, maybe 4. Taehyun moved to the window, testing the fire escape with one hand. It's stable. I'll go. What about you? I'll be right behind you. That's what people say right before they do something stupid and heroic and end up dead. I climbed through the window, the cold Boston night air hitting me like a slap. Minjae whimpered against my neck. Then I guess you'll just have to trust me. Taehyun's eyes gleamed in the darkness. Go, now. A crash echoed from the front of the apartment, wood splintering. They were breaking down the door. I went. The fire escape rattled under my feet as I descended, each step sending vibrations up my legs. Minjae buried his face in my shoulder, his small body shaking. Above us, I heard Taehyun following, his movements quick and controlled. Almost there, I murmured to Minjae. Just a little further. We hit the alley with a jarring thud. The ground was wet, puddles reflecting the distant streetlights. I set Minjae down but kept his hand firmly in mine. Taehyun landed beside us a second later. My car is 2 blocks north. Your car? I stared at him. You think I'm getting in a car with you after everything that just happened? You have a better plan? Yes, we run in literally any other direction. Appa, Minjae tugged on my hand. I'm scared. My chest tightened. I know, baby, but we're okay. A door at the end of the alley burst open. 2 figures stepped out, both tall, both unmistakably alpha. Their scents hit me simultaneously, aggressive and predatory, making my instincts scream danger. Taehyun moved in front of us so fast I barely saw him move. His scent flared, sharp and commanding, a clear territorial challenge. You're trespassing, he said, his voice cold enough to freeze blood. One of the alphas laughed. We're just following orders, Kang. Hand over the Omega and the kid, and nobody gets hurt. Whose orders? Taehyun's hands curled into fists. Does it matter? It does to me. I stepped around Taehyun, ignoring his sharp inhale of protest. Because I'd like to know who's stupid enough to send goons after a single parent in the middle of the night. The second alpha's eyes locked on me. Feisty, I like that. I'm sure you do, I smiled sweetly. But see, here's the thing. I've spent 4 years running from one nightmare. I'm not about to let 2 random alphas become my new problem. So why don't you tell me who sent you? And maybe I won't let him. I jerked my thumb at Taehyun. Rip your throats out. Yunwoo, Taehyun said quietly. Hey, take Minjae and go. Absolutely not. This isn't a negotiation. You're right. I met his eyes. It's not, because I don't take orders from you. Something flashed across Taehyun's face. Surprise, maybe a hint of admiration, or possibly frustration. Hard to tell in the dark. The first alpha took a step forward. Enough talking. Boss wants them alive, but he didn't say anything about undamaged. Boss? I latched onto the word. So someone did send you. Who? Like we'd tell you. Worth a shot. I glanced at Taehyun. So, what's the plan? Because I'm fresh out of ideas and my son is about 3 seconds away from a complete meltdown. As if on cue, Minjae's lower lip started trembling. Appa, I want to go home. I know, baby, soon. Taehyun's phone buzzed. He pulled it out, glanced at the screen. His expression went dark. We need to leave, right now. What is it? They set your apartment on fire. The words didn't make sense. What? 4th floor, your unit. It's burning. He showed me the phone, a news alert with a photo. Flames pouring from a window I recognized as mine. They wanted to make sure we couldn't go back. My legs went weak. Everything I owned, every photo of Minjae, every memory I'd built over 4 years, gone. Those bastards, I whispered. Yunwoo. Taehyun's hand found my shoulder. I need you to focus. Can you do that? I looked at him. Really looked at him. 4 years ago, I ran because I thought he didn't want us. Now he was standing between my son and danger, looking at me like I was the only thing that mattered in the world. Yeah, I said. I can focus. Good. He turned back to the two alphas. Last chance. Walk away. They didn't. What happened next was fast, brutal. Taehyun moved like violence given form, every strike precise and devastating. I grabbed Minjae and pressed his face against my chest so he wouldn't see. The sounds were bad enough. It was over in less than a minute. Both alphas were on the ground, groaning. Taehyun stood over them, barely winded, his knuckles bloody. Let's go, he said. I didn't argue. We ran. Taehyun's car was exactly where he said it would be, a sleek black sedan that probably cost more than I made in a year. He unlocked it with a button, and I scrambled into the back seat with Minjae. Taehyun slid behind the wheel and the engine roared to life. Where are we going? I asked as he pulled into traffic. Somewhere safe. That's not an answer. It's the only one I have right now. His eyes met mine in the rearview mirror. But I promise you, Yunwoo, I'm not letting anything happen to either of you. Minjae had fallen asleep against my chest, exhausted from fear and adrenaline. I stroked his hair, my hands shaking. Why should I believe you? I whispered. Because whether you like it or not, Taehyun said quietly, we're in this together now. His phone rang. He answered it on speaker. Hyung, a familiar voice said. Jaewon, I heard about the fire. Is everyone okay? Taehyun's hands tightened on the steering wheel. How did you know about the fire? A pause, too long. It's all over the news. The fire started 10 minutes ago. Taehyun's voice was deadly calm. The news hasn't picked it up yet. Another pause. Then Jaewon laughed. Oops. The call disconnected. I stared at the phone, ice flooding my veins. He's behind this. Your brother is trying to kill us. Yeah, I know. The casual way he said it made something snap inside me. You know? My voice came out strangled. Your brother just tried to burn us alive and you know? Yunwoo. No, you don't get to Yunwoo me right now. I was shaking, rage and fear mixing into something toxic. How long have you known he was dangerous? How long have you known he was capable of this? Taehyun's knuckles were white on the steering wheel. I suspected. I didn't know. That's not good enough. I know. Stop saying that. My voice cracked. Minjae stirred against my chest, and I immediately lowered my volume, but the fury remained. You show up after 4 years. I'll drop a bomb about your psychotic brother, and now we're running for our lives. I think I deserve more than I know. You're right. Taehyun's eyes met mine in the mirror. You deserve better than this, better than me. But right now, I'm all you've got. The bitter truth of it settled in my chest like lead. Where are we going? I asked again. My safe house. It's off the grid. No one knows about it except me. You have a safe house? I'm a billionaire alpha with enemies Yunwoo. Of course I have a safe house. Right. Silly me. I adjusted Minja's weight, trying to ignore how my arms were starting to ache. And what happens when we get there? We just hide forever? No. Taehyun took a sharp turn, and I braced myself against the door. We figure out exactly what Jaewon is planning and we stop him. We? There's a we now? There's always been a we. His voice softened. You just didn't know it. I didn't know what to say to that. Didn't know how to process any of this. 4 hours ago, my biggest worry was whether Minjae would eat his vegetables at dinner. Now my apartment was ash and we were fleeing from a homicidal alpha who happened to be related to the father of my child. My life was a mess. I need to call Seok-jin, I said suddenly. Who? My neighbor. He watches Minjae sometimes when I work late. He's probably worried about the fire. No calls. Taehyun's voice was firm. They could be monitoring your contacts. They who? Your brother's goon squad? Yes. Fantastic. I let my head fall back against the seat. So I can't call anyone, can't go home, and have to trust the man who was allegedly dead to me for 4 years. This is going great. I never said I was dead to you. Taehyun's voice carried an edge now. That was your assumption. My assumption. I sat up straight. You literally sent me away, or your brother did. Semantics at this point. It's not semantics when the difference is whether I rejected you or was manipulated into losing you. Same result though, isn't it? The words came out bitter. Either way, I spent 4 years alone. Taehyun was quiet for a long moment. Then, did you think about me? The question caught me off guard. What? In those 4 years, did you think about me? I could have lied, should have lied, but something in his voice made me tell the truth. Every single day, his breath hitched. Yoonwoo, don't. I looked away, focusing on the passing streetlights. Don't read into it. Swar, I thought about you because I was angry. Because I hated you for what you did to us. Did you? Hate me? Yes. Another truth. And no, it's complicated. Complicated? He almost laughed. That's one word for it. The car turned onto a narrow road lined with trees. The city lights faded behind us, replaced by darkness, broken only by the headlights. Minjae shifted in his sleep, mumbling something about dinosaurs. He talks in his sleep, Taehyun said quietly. What does he dream about? You're asking me questions about our son like we're on a getting-to-know-you date. This is surreal. I missed 3 years of his life. There was pain in those words, raw and real. Forgive me for trying to catch up. Guilt twisted through my anger. He dreams about being a paleontologist. I wants to dig up T-Rex bones. Like his appa. I blinked. What? You wanted to be a paleontologist? Before? Taehyun trailed off. Before I met you? Before I got pregnant? Before my entire life changed? Yeah, I said softly. Before. The safe house appeared suddenly, hidden behind a wall of pine trees. It was smaller than I expected. A cabin, really. Wood and stone and completely isolated. Home sweet temporary home, I muttered. Taehyun parked and cut the engine. The silence was immediate and absolute. No traffic, no sirens. Just wind through the trees and the sound of my own heartbeat. I'll check inside first, Taehyun said. Lock the doors. Don't open them for anyone but me. What if you don't come back? I will. He met my eyes in the mirror. Oh, I promise. Your promises don't mean much to me right now. Something flickered across his face. Hurt. Fair enough. He got out, and I immediately hit the lock button. Through the window, I watched him approach the cabin, every movement controlled and alert. He disappeared inside. 1 minute passed, then 2. Minjae woke up with a small whimper. Appa? Where are we? Somewhere safe, baby. I don't like it here. It's dark. I know. I kissed his forehead. But we're okay, I promise. Where's Daddy? The words still felt strange. Foreign. He's checking to make sure everything is safe. Is he going to stay with us? I opened my mouth, closed it. I don't know. I hope he does. Minjae yawned. I like him. He smells like home. My chest tightened. Out of the mouths of babes. The cabin door opened. Wood Taehyun stepped out and gave a small nod. All clear. I gathered Minjae and climbed out of the car. The night air was cold, biting through my thin shirt. I should have grabbed a jacket. Should have grabbed a lot of things. Inside, Taehyun said quietly. Quickly. The cabin was warm at least. Someone had been here recently. The furniture looked lived in, and there was food in the small kitchen. You come here often? I asked. When I need to disappear. Taehyun locked the door behind us, engaging 3 separate deadbolts. There's a bedroom upstairs. You and Minjae take it. Where will you sleep? I won't. He moved to the window, pulling the curtains closed. Someone needs to keep watch. For how long? As long as it takes. I set Minjae down. He immediately went to explore, his fear momentarily forgotten in the excitement of a new place. I watched him go, then turned to Taehyun. We need to talk. I know. Stop saying that. I crossed my arms. I mean really talk. About what happened 4 years ago. About your brother. About what the hell happens next. Okay. He finally looked at me. Really looked at me. What do you want to know? Everything. I met his gaze. And this time I want the truth. All of it. Taehyun nodded slowly. All right. But you might not like what you hear. Try me. He took a breath. 4 years ago, I was being blackmailed into a political marriage. The night you left, I was supposed to meet with the senator's people to finalize the arrangement, but I never showed up. Why not? Because I was going to tell them to go to hell. His voice was quiet, steady. or I was going to choose you instead. My heart stopped. What? I'd made up my mind. You and our child. That's all I wanted. His eyes held mine. But when I got home to tell you, you were already gone, and Jaewon was there, looking concerned, saying you'd left me a note. What note? Saying you'd met someone else, that the baby wasn't mine, that you never wanted to see me again. Taehyun's jaw clenched. I didn't believe it at first, but then you disappeared completely, and 6 months later, they told me you were dead. Tears burned behind my eyes. He took everything from us. Yes, Taehyun stepped closer. He did, but we're still here, and I'm not losing you again. Appa, Minjae's voice called from upstairs. Can you come here? I wiped my eyes quickly. Coming, baby. But before I could move, Taehyun caught my hand. I meant what I said, he whispered. 4 years ago, I chose you, and I'd choose you again. Every time. I pulled my hand free. Words are easy, Taehyun. Proving them is harder. Then let me prove it. I looked at him, at this alpha who claimed he'd mourn me, who'd spent 3 years thinking I was dead, who'd crossed the city tonight to keep us safe. We'll see, I said finally. And then I went upstairs to our son. Behind me, I heard Taehyun's quiet exhale, like he'd been holding his breath, waiting for me to say yes. I found Minjae standing in front of a bookshelf, his small fingers tracing the spines of old leather-bound books that were probably worth more than my monthly rent used to be. Look, Appa, he said, pulling one down. This one has pictures of dinosaurs. Of course it did. Because apparently Taehyun's secret safehouse came fully equipped with age-appropriate educational materials for the son he didn't know existed until tonight. I sat on the edge of the bed, suddenly exhausted. That's great, baby. Why don't you look at it for a bit while Appa rests? Minjae climbed onto the bed beside me, the book spread across his lap. But instead of looking at the pictures, he turned to me with those 2 observant eyes. Are you mad at Daddy? The question hit me like a fist to the chest. Why would you think that? You have your angry voice, the one you use when Mrs. Chen's dog poops on our doormat. I couldn't help it. I laughed. I do not have an angry voice. You do. Minjae tilted his head. It gets all tight, like you're trying really hard not to yell. Smart kid. Too smart for his own good. Yeah, I'm not mad at your daddy, I said carefully. I'm just confused. A lot has happened tonight. Like our house burning down? My throat tightened. Yeah, like that. It's okay. Minjae patted my hand with his small one. We can build a new one. With Daddy. He seems strong enough to carry all the wood. The innocence of it made my chest ache. It's not that simple, baby. Why not? Because your daddy and I have 4 years of hurt and lies and misunderstandings between us. Because I don't know if I can trust him. Because I'm terrified of letting him in just to have him destroy me again. Because grown-up things are complicated, I said instead. Minjae frowned. That's what adults always say when they don't want to explain something. When did you get so wise? I'm 3.5. He held up 4 fingers. And almost 4. That's still 3 fingers, buddy. He looked at his hand, confused, then shrugged and went back to his book. I laid back on the bed, staring at the ceiling. The wood beams above me were old, probably original to the cabin. I wondered how many times Taehyun had come here, how many times he'd needed to escape from his life, how many times he'd thought about me while he was here. Stop it. Stop romanticizing this. But my mind wouldn't let it go. 4 years. He'd spent 4 years thinking I was dead. That kind of grief didn't fake itself. I'd seen it in his eyes when he looked at Minjae. Raw, devastating, real, unless he was a really good actor. Appa? Minjae's voice pulled me back. Can I ask you something? Always. Why did we run away from Daddy? My breath caught. What do you mean? Before. When I was a baby. Minjae looked at me with those knowing eyes. We ran away, didn't we? That's why he didn't know about me. I sat up slowly. Minjae, it's complicated. You keep saying that word. Because it's true. I pulled him into my lap, breathing in his familiar scent. Baby shampoo and something uniquely him. Sometimes people make mistakes. Sometimes people hurt each other without meaning to. Did Daddy hurt you? Yes. No. I don't know anymore. I thought he did, I said quietly, but I'm starting to think maybe I was wrong. So we can stay with him? I don't know yet, baby. We'll see. Minjae snuggled closer. I hope we can. He has nice eyes. Sad but nice. Out of the mouths of babes. A soft knock on the door made us both look up. Taehyun stood in the doorway, his expression careful. Guarded. I'm sorry to interrupt, he said, but we have a problem. Of course we did. What now, I asked. Jaewon posted something on social media. Taehyun held up his phone. About you and Minjae. Ice flooded my veins. Show me. He crossed the room and handed me the phone. The post was simple. A photo of Minjae and me at the park. The same one Taehyun had shown me earlier. But the caption made my blood boil. Missing Park Yoon-woo and child. Last seen fleeing apartment fire. Family concerned for their safety. Substantial reward for information leading to their safe return. He's painting himself as the concerned family member, I said slowly, making it look like we're in danger. While he's the one who put us in danger in the first place, Taehyun finished. It's smart. If anyone sees you, they'll call it in thinking they're helping. So we're trapped here. For now, I handed the phone back. How long is for now? Until I can prove Jaewon is behind everything, the fire, the fake death certificate, the threats. Taehyun's jaw clenched. Once I have evidence, I can go to the authorities. And if you can't get evidence, then we disappear, permanently. The word hung in the air like a death sentence. Disappear where? I asked. I have resources. Contacts overseas, new identities. Taehyun looked at Minjae, then back at me. I can keep you safe, both of you. At what cost? Does it matter? Yes. I stood, careful not to disturb Minjae. Because I've already spent 4 years running, I'm tired of it. I want my son to have a normal life. Friends, school, a home that doesn't involve hiding in a cabin in the woods. I want that too. Taehyun's voice was rough. But I want you alive more. The sincerity in his words made something crack inside me. Why? I asked. Why do you care so much? You barely knew me 4 years ago. We had 6 months together. That's nothing. It wasn't nothing to me. He stepped closer. Yoonwoo, you were the first person who ever saw me as just me. Not an alpha, not a billionaire, not a Kang family heir, just Taehyun. That doesn't mean I was going to bond with you. The words came out raw, painful. That night you think I rejected you? I was coming home to ask you to be mine. Officially, permanently. My heart stopped. What? I had a ring. Taehyun pulled something from his pocket. A small velvet box. I've carried it for 4 years. I couldn't bring myself to throw it away. He opened the box. Inside was a simple silver band. Elegant. Perfect. Exactly what I would have chosen. You're lying, I whispered. I'm not. He held the box out. This was supposed to be yours. You and our child. That was the future I wanted. Tears burned behind my eyes. Stop. I can't. Taehyun's voice broke. Because if I stop, if I give up, then Jaewon wins. And I'll be damned if I let him take you from me twice. Appa? Minjae's sleepy voice cut through the tension. Why are you crying? I hadn't realized I was. I wiped my eyes quickly. I'm not, baby. Just tired. Daddy's crying too, Minjae observed. I looked at Taehyun. He was. Silent tears tracking down his face, his expression wrecked. Adults are weird, Minjae announced, then promptly fell asleep on the bed. For a moment, Taehyun and I just stared at each other. Two broken people trying to figure out if the pieces still fit. I don't know if I can trust you, I said finally. I know. I don't know if I can forgive you for not finding me sooner. I know. And I definitely don't know if I can just pick up where we left off, like the last 4 years didn't happen. I know. Taehyun closed the ring box. But Yoonwoo, I'm not asking you to trust me, or forgive me, or forget. Then what are you asking? For a chance. He met my eyes. Just a chance to prove that what we had was real. that it's still real. I looked at my son, sleeping peacefully, then back at the Alpha who claimed to love us both. One chance, I said quietly. That's all you get. Relief flooded Taehyun's face. That's all I need. His phone buzzed, and he glanced at it and his expression went dark. What? I asked. Text from an unknown number. He showed me the screen. TikTok, Young. How long do you think you can hide them? My blood ran cold. He knows we're here. No. Taehyun's voice was certain. He's fishing, trying to scare us. It's working. Another text came through. This one with a photo attachment. I wish I hadn't looked. It was Seok-jin, my neighbor, tied to a chair, blood on his face, eyes wide with terror, and standing behind him, smiling at the camera, was Jaewon. The phone slipped from my fingers. Taehyun caught it before it hit the ground, his reflexes inhumanly fast. But I barely noticed. My vision was tunneling, my breath coming in short, sharp gasps. Seok-jin. Kind, gentle Seok-jin who brought me leftovers when he cooked too much. Who taught Minjae to tie his shoes. Who'd never hurt anyone in his entire life. Breathe, Taehyun said, his hand on my shoulder. Yoonwoo, I need you to breathe. He has Seok-jin. My voice sounded distant. Wrong. This is my fault. I should have warned him. I should have. Stop. Taehyun's grip tightened. This isn't your fault. This is Jaewon being a psychopath. Another text came through. Trade. The neighbor for your little family. You have 2 hours. No! The word came out flat. Final. Absolutely not. I looked at Taehyun. We have to save him. It's a trap. I don't care. I pulled away from his grip. That's my friend, my neighbor. He's only in danger because of me, which is exactly what Jaewon wants you to think. Taehyun's voice was maddeningly calm. He's manipulating you. Again. So what? We just leave Seok-jin to die? We call the police. And tell them what? I laughed, but it came out hysterical. That your brother kidnapped my neighbor as part of some elaborate revenge plot? They'll think we're insane. Then we find another way. There is no other way. My voice rose and I immediately glanced at Minjae. Still asleep. Thank God. I lowered my volume but kept the intensity. Seok-jin is innocent. He doesn't deserve this. Neither do you. Taehyun stepped closer. Neither does Minjae. And if we walk into Jaewon's trap, we all die. Is that what you want? Of course not. Tears burned behind my eyes. But I can't just abandon him. You're not abandoning anyone. Taehyun's hand found my face, his thumb brushing away a tear I hadn't realized had fallen. I'm going to fix this. I promise. How? His phone rang before he could answer. Unknown number. Taehyun answered on speaker. Jaewon. Hyung. Jaewon's voice was cheerful, bright, like we were all old friends catching up. Did you get my present? Let him go. Where's the fun in that? Jaewon laughed. Besides, I think your little Omega needs a lesson in consequences. He ran away once. I'd hate for him to think he could do it again. My hands curled into fists. You're insane. Oh, good, you're there. Jaewon sounded delighted. Yoonwoo ya, it's been too long. You look good in the photos. Motherhood suits you. Go to hell. Already there, sweetheart. Might as well bring everyone else with me. His tone shifted, turning cold. 2 hours. The old warehouse on 5th Street. Come alone, Hyung. If I see anyone else, your Omega's friend dies. Just and then I start working through everyone else he cares about. You touch anyone else, and You'll what? Jaewon interrupted. Kill me? We both know you won't. You're too soft, too noble. It's your biggest weakness. It's called having a conscience, Taehyun said. You should try it sometime. Conscience is just another word for limitation. Jaewon sighed. 2 hours, Hyung. Don't be late. Oh, and Yoonwoo? Bring the kid. I'd love to meet my nephew. The line went dead. Silence crashed over the room like a wave. I couldn't breathe, couldn't think. The idea of bringing Minjae anywhere near that monster made my skin crawl. Over my dead body, I said. Agreed. Taehyun was already texting someone. I'm calling in backup. He said to come alone. He also said to bring Minjae, which we're not doing. So we're already breaking his rules. Taehyun looked up from his phone. Might as well break all of them. Who are you texting? People I trust. People who owe me favors. His expression was grim. If Jaewon wants a war, I'll give him one. I wanted to argue, wanted to say this was too dangerous, but Seokjin's terrified face kept flashing through my mind. I'm coming with you, I said. Absolutely not. He's my friend, my responsibility. And you're my... Taehyun stopped, started again. You're the father of my child. I'm not putting you in danger. You don't get to make that choice for me. I stepped closer, meeting his eyes. I've spent 4 years making my own decisions. I'm not about to stop now. Something flickered across Taehyun's face. Frustration, maybe admiration. You're impossible. You're just figuring that out? Despite everything, he almost smiled. No, I knew it 4 years ago. It's one of the things I loved about you. Loved, past tense. The word shouldn't have hurt as much as it did. Minjae stays here, I said, moving past the moment. Somewhere safe, with people you trust. Already arranged. Taehyun showed me his phone. My head of security is on his way. Former special forces. He'll protect Minjae with his life. And if Jaewon finds this place, he won't. Taehyun's voice was certain. This property is buried under 6 shell corporations and registered to a dead man's name. The only way Jaewon finds it is if we lead him here. Comforting. It's the best I can do. Taehyun looked at Minjae, sleeping peacefully on the bed. He's beautiful. You did an amazing job raising him. The sudden shift caught me off guard. Don't do that. Do what? Get sentimental right before we walk into a death trap. It's bad luck. I don't believe in luck. Taehyun stepped closer. But I believe in fighting for what matters. And you both matter. More than anything. His scent wrapped around me. Pine and steel and something warmer. Something that made my Omega instincts sing with recognition. Mate, they whispered. Home. I shoved the feeling down. We should go, before I change my mind about this incredibly stupid plan. It's not stupid if it works. And if it doesn't? Taehyun was quiet for a moment. Then he reached out and tucked a strand of hair behind my ear, his touch gentle. Then at least I got to see you again, got to meet our son. Oh, that's more than I thought I'd ever have. Stop talking like we're going to die. I'm not planning on dying. His eyes held mine. But if something happens to me, I need you to know something. Taehyun. The ring. He pressed the velvet box into my hand. It's yours. It's always been yours. And if I don't make it out of this, I want you to give it to Minjae when he's older. Tell him his father loved him, and that I would have done anything to keep him safe. Tears spilled down my cheeks. You're not dying. Neither of us are. We're going to save Seokjin, stop your psychotic brother, and then figure out this mess between us like adults. Got it? Taehyun's lips quirked. Got it. A knock on the door made us both tense. Taehyun moved in front of me instinctively, his body a shield. It's Taehyun, a voice called from outside. Where's your security? Taehyun relaxed fractionally. He opened the door to reveal a man built like a tank, with kind eyes and a serious expression. This is Yoonwoo, Taehyun said, and that's Minjae. They're your only priority. Understood. Taehyun nodded at me. I'll keep him safe. You have my word. I looked at my sleeping son, at his peaceful face, at the dinosaur book still clutched in his small hands. If anything happens to him, I said quietly, there won't be anywhere you can hide. Taehyun's respect showed in his eyes. Understood. I kissed Minjae's forehead, breathing in his scent one more time. I love you, baby. Appa will be back soon. Taehyun's hand found mine. Ready? No. I looked at him. But let's do this anyway. We walked down the stairs together. At the door, Taehyun paused. Yoonwoo, he said. Oh, thank you. For what? For giving me a son. For surviving. For being exactly who you've always been. He squeezed my hand. For not giving up on us, even when you had every reason to. I didn't know what to say to that. So I just squeezed back. We stepped into the night, and I prayed we'd both live to see morning. The warehouse loomed in front of us like a concrete graveyard. Broken windows gaped like empty eye sockets, and rust stained the corrugated metal walls. The kind of place where bad things happened and nobody asked questions. Perfect for a psychopath with a vendetta. I hate this plan, I muttered as Taehyun parked the car a block away. You've mentioned that. Twice. Worth repeating. I stared at the building, my stomach twisting. Where's your backup? Already in position. Taehyun checked his phone. I in 3 on the north side, 2 on the south. They're waiting for my signal. And if something goes wrong, then they move in anyway. He looked at me. But nothing's going to go wrong. You can't promise that. Watch me. His confidence should have been reassuring. Instead, it made me want to punch him or kiss him. I wasn't sure which. Maybe both. Stay behind me, Taehyun said as we approached the warehouse. Let me do the talking. What if I have something to say? Then say it quietly. Jaewon feeds on conflict. The more emotional we get, the more control he has. So we're just supposed to be robots. Great plan. Yunwoo. Taehyun stopped walking and turned to face me. I need you to trust me. Can you do that? I wanted to say no. Wanted to remind him that trust wasn't something he'd earned yet. But Seokjin's face flashed through my mind again. Fine, I said. But if we die, I'm haunting you first. Fair enough. The warehouse door was already open. An invitation or a trap. Probably both. Inside, the space was vast and empty. Moonlight filtered through the broken roof, casting everything in silver and shadow. Our footsteps echoed against concrete. Dramatic entrance, Hyung. Jaewon's voice came from somewhere above us. I'm impressed you actually came. I looked up. He stood on a metal catwalk, Seokjin kneeling beside him, hands bound behind his back. Even from here, I could see the bruises on Seokjin's face. Rage burned through my chest. Let him go. Where are my manners? Jaewon smiled. Yunwoo, you look well. Stress suits you. Go to hell. Still feisty. I like that about you. Jaewon tilted his head. Hey, tell me, did you miss me? Did you ever wonder what might have been if you'd chosen me instead? Not even once. Liar! Jaewon's smile didn't waver. I saw the way you looked at me. 4 years ago, when Hyung was too busy playing corporate mogul to pay attention to you, you were lonely, desperate for affection. I was desperate to get away from you, I shot back. There's a difference. Taehyun's hand found the small of my back. A warning. Stay calm. I ignored it. You want to know what I remember? I continued, stepping forward. I remember you cornering me in the kitchen, telling me Taehyun didn't really want me, that I was just a phase, a distraction. I was trying to help you see the truth. You were trying to manipulate me. My voice rose. Because you couldn't stand the fact that your brother had something you wanted. So you lied. You destroyed everything. And for what? Some pathetic power play? Jaewon's smile finally cracked. Careful, Omega. You're in no position to insult me. Actually, I think I'm in the perfect position. I crossed my arms. Because unlike you, I have people who actually care about me. You're so desperate for validation, you had to kidnap an innocent man just to get your brother's attention. Yunwoo, Taehyun said quietly. That's enough. But I was done being careful. Done being scared. No, I said. It's not enough. Because this sad excuse for an alpha has been terrorizing us all night, and I'm tired of it. I looked up at Jaewon. You want to hurt me? Fine. Come down here and try. But leave Seokjin out of this. He has nothing to do with your family drama. Jaewon stared at me for a long moment. Then he laughed. Oh, you know what? You're right. He doesn't. He pulled out a knife. My heart stopped. Wait. Taehyun's voice cracked through the warehouse. Jaewon, don't. Why not? Jaewon pressed the blade against Seokjin's throat. You took everything from me, Hyung. My inheritance. My status. The respect I deserved. Why shouldn't I take something from you? Because he's not yours to take, Taehyun said, his voice deadly calm. None of this is about him. It's about me. So let's settle this. You and me, right now. How noble. Jaewon's smile returned. But I think I'll pass. See, the thing about revenge is that it's so much sweeter when you watch someone suffer. He looked at me. Tell me, Yunwoo, how far would you go to save your friend? Would you beg? Don't answer him, Taehyun said, but I was already speaking. Yes. Yunwoo, Anna, no. Yes, I repeated louder. I'll beg. I'll do whatever you want. Just let him go. Jaewon's eyes gleamed. Get on your knees. Taehyun's hand grabbed my arm. Don't you dare. I looked at him. At this alpha who'd promised to protect me, who'd spent 4 years mourning someone he thought was dead. I have to, I said quietly. No, you don't. He's my friend. I pulled free from Taehyun's grip. I'm not letting him die because of your family's mess. I dropped to my knees. The concrete was cold and hard. My pride screamed at me to get up, to fight, but Seokjin's terrified eyes kept me down. Please, I said, hating how my voice shook. Let him go. I'm the one you want to hurt. So hurt me. But let him go. Jaewon descended the stairs slowly, savoring every second. When he reached the bottom, he circled me like a predator. Wash, you really love playing the martyr, don't you? He said. It's almost admirable. Almost. Jaewon! Taehyun's voice was pure threat. This ends now. You're right. Jaewon stopped in front of me. It does. He grabbed my chin, forcing me to look up at him. His scent was wrong, twisted. Nothing like the alpha scent that should have been there. You could have been mine, he said softly. We could have been happy. But you chose him. Again and again. Even when he wasn't there, you chose him. Because I love him, I said. The words hung in the air. I hadn't meant to say them. Hadn't even realized they were true until they left my mouth. But they were true. Despite everything. Despite the years and the lies and the pain. I loved Taehyun. I always had. Jaewon's expression twisted with rage. Wrong answer. He raised the knife. Everything happened at once. Taehyun lunged forward. Someone shouted. Glass shattered as his backup team crashed through the windows. And I watched, frozen, as the knife descended. But it didn't reach me. Taehyun's body slammed into mine, knocking me sideways. I hit the ground hard, the air leaving my lungs in a rush. Above us, Jaewon screamed in frustration as 3 alphas tackled him to the ground. Seokjin was suddenly there, his hand somehow free, pulling me to my feet. Are you okay? I'm fine. I looked around frantically. Where's Taehyun? Here. His voice came from behind me. I turned, and my heart stopped. Taehyun was standing. That was good, but there was blood seeping through his shirt. A lot of it. Oh God, I breathed. It's not bad, Taehyun said, but his voice was strained. Just a scratch. That's not a scratch, you idiot. I moved toward him, my hands shaking. You're bleeding. I'm fine. You're not fine, my voice cracked. Why did you do that? Why did you jump in front of me? Because I love you, Taehyun said simply, and I'm not losing you again. He swayed. I caught him as he fell. Taehyun! His name tore from my throat. Stay with me. Please stay with me. His eyes were already closing. Tell Minjae. Tell him his father. Tell him yourself, I said desperately. You're not dying. You hear me? You don't get to say you love me and then die. Bossy, he mumbled. Damn right I'm bossy. Tears streamed down my face. Now stay awake. That's an order. Someone was calling 911. Someone else was applying pressure to the wound. But all I could see was Taehyun's face, growing paler, his breathing shallow. I love you too, I whispered. I should have said it sooner. I should have said it 4 years ago. But I'm saying it now. I love you. So you have to stay, please. Taehyun's hand found mine, squeezed weakly, and then his eyes closed. No. The word ripped from my throat. No, no, no. Taehyun, open your eyes, right now. His chest still rose and fell, shallow, too shallow, but breathing. Ambulance is 3 minutes out, one of the security team said. 3 minutes, an eternity. I pressed harder on the wound, my hands slick with his blood. You don't get to do this. You don't get to come back into my life. Tell me you love me, and then die. That's not how this works. Yoon-woo, Seokjin's hand on my shoulder. Let them help. A medic from Taehyun's team was suddenly there, professional and efficient. She moved my hands aside gently but firmly, replacing them with gauze and pressure. The wound isn't as deep as it looks, she said. He'll need stitches, maybe surgery depending on what the knife hit. But he's stable. Stable. The word should have been comforting. It wasn't. Why isn't he waking up? My voice shook. Shock, blood loss. His body is protecting itself. She worked as she talked, her movements precise. He's strong. He'll pull through. I looked at Taehyun's face. Pale. Still. Nothing like the commanding alpha who'd faced down his brother minutes ago. He better, I said, because I have a lot of things to yell at him about when he wakes up. Seokjin made a sound that might have been a laugh. Only you would threaten an unconscious man. He deserves it. I brushed Taehyun's hair back from his forehead. Stupid, utterly heroic idiot. Sirens wailed in the distance, getting closer. Across the warehouse, Jaewon was still pinned to the ground, zip-tied and furious. His eyes found mine, and even restrained, the hatred in them made my skin crawl. This isn't over, he snarled. You think you've won? You've won nothing. Shut up, I said flatly. Adults are talking. You're pathetic, both of you. Jaewon struggled against his restraints. He'll never choose you over his family, over his legacy. You're just a distraction, a phase that lasted too long. Funny. I stood, my legs shaky but my voice steady. Because he just took a knife for me. What have you ever sacrificed for anyone? Jaewon's expression twisted. I sacrificed everything. I watched him get everything I deserved. The company, the respect, and then he got you. Sweet, innocent Yunwoo who looked at him like he hung the moon. So you destroyed us, I finished, because if you couldn't have what he had, no one could. He didn't deserve you. And you did, I laughed bitterly. You kidnapped my friend, set my apartment on fire, tried to kill us, and you think that makes you the better choice? I would have given you everything. I didn't want everything. I crouched down so we were eye level. I wanted someone who saw me as an equal, as a partner, not a possession, and that was never going to be you. Jaewon's face flushed with rage. You'll regret this? Probably. I stood again. But at least I'll regret it on my own terms. The paramedics burst through the door, stretcher and equipment in hand. They moved with practiced efficiency, transferring Taehyun from the ground to the gurney. Who are you family? One of them asked me. I opened my mouth, closed it. We weren't married, weren't bonded. Legally, I was nothing to him. Yes, Seokjin said firmly. He's family. The paramedic nodded. You can ride with us. I climbed into the ambulance, my hand finding Taehyun's. His skin was cold. I rubbed my thumb over his knuckles, trying to warm him through touch alone. You're going to be okay, I told him. You have to be, because Minjae is waiting, and I'm not explaining to our son why his father died before he got to know him. The ambulance lurched into motion. His vitals are stable, the paramedic monitoring the equipment said. Heart rate is strong. BP is holding. Good signs. I nodded, not trusting my voice. My phone buzzed. Taehyun, Minjae is asking for you. What should I tell him? God, my son. I'd been so focused on Taehyun, I'd almost forgotten. Tell him Appa and Daddy had to take care of something. We'll be home soon. Is the boss okay? I looked at Taehyun, at the IV in his arm, at the blood-soaked gauze. He will be. The hospital was chaos, bright lights and rushing nurses and forms to fill out. I answered questions on autopilot, my hand never leaving Taehyun's. They wheeled him into surgery. A doctor with kind eyes told me it would be a few hours, that I should wait, that someone would update me. I found myself in a waiting room that smelled like disinfectant and bad coffee. Seokjin appeared with 2 cups of something that might have been tea. Drink, he ordered. I took the cup. Didn't drink. I'm sorry for dragging you into this. You didn't drag me anywhere. Seokjin sat beside me. That psychopath did. Not your fault. If I hadn't run 4 years ago, none of this would have happened. Or, Seokjin said gently, all of it would have happened sooner. You can't predict crazy, Yunwoo. You can only survive it. I told him I loved him. I heard. Right before he passed out, I stared at the cup in my hands. Great timing, right? Better late than never. Seokjin bumped my shoulder. He'll wake up, and you'll tell him again, and probably yell at him for being reckless. Damn right I will. Hours passed. Each minute felt like a year. Finally, a doctor emerged. Family of Kang Taehyun? I shot to my feet. How is he? Surgery went well. The knife missed anything vital. He'll need rest and monitoring, but he should make a full recovery. The relief was so intense I nearly collapsed. Can I see him? He's in recovery now. I'm still sedated. But you can sit with him. They led me to a room. Taehyun lay in the hospital bed, looking smaller somehow, vulnerable. An oxygen tube under his nose, monitors beeping steadily. I pulled a chair close and took his hand again. You scared me, I said quietly. I know you can't hear me, but I need to say it anyway. You scared the hell out of me. His fingers twitched, just slightly. The doctor says you'll be fine, which is good, because I meant what I said. I love you, and we need to figure out what that means. For us, for Minjae. Another twitch, stronger this time. And when you wake up, I'm going to yell at you for being an idiot, for jumping in front of a knife, for making me feel things I didn't want to feel. His eyes moved under his eyelids. But I'm also going to thank you. My voice cracked. Juan, for coming back, for finding us, for proving that maybe, just maybe, some things are worth fighting for. His hand squeezed mine. Weak, barely there, but real. Taehyun, I leaned forward. Can you hear me? His eyes fluttered open, unfocused at first, then they found mine. Yunwoo, he rasped. Hey! I smiled through my tears. Welcome back, idiot. Did we win? Yeah, we won. Good. His thumb brushed over my knuckles. Minjae? Safe, waiting for us. He closed his eyes again, exhausted. Love you. I know. I brought his hand to my lips. I love you too. About time, he mumbled. And despite everything, despite the fear and the pain and the absolute chaos of the last few hours, I laughed. Because he was right, it was about time. His breathing evened out, falling back into sleep. But his hand stayed in mine. And for the first time in 4 years, I felt something I'd almost forgotten. Hope. My phone buzzed again. Unknown number. Against my better judgment, I answered. Yunwoo. A woman's voice. Elegant. Cold. We need to talk about your son. My blood froze. Who is this? Senator Park. A pause. Jaewon's associate. And I'm afraid his arrest has created a rather complicated situation. I don't care about your complications. You should. Her voice hardened. Because Jaewon isn't the only one who knows about your son, and there are people far more dangerous than him who would love to get their hands on a Kang Heir. The line went dead. I stared at the phone, my heart pounding. It wasn't over. It was never going to be over. The thought echoed in my head for exactly 3 seconds before I shut it down. No. I'd spent 4 years running, 4 years looking over my shoulder, 4 years letting fear dictate my life. Not anymore. I deleted the voicemail without listening to it. Then I blocked the number. Senator Park wanted to threaten me? She could get in line behind everyone else who'd tried. Problem. Taehyun's voice was rough but alert. I looked at him. His eyes were clearer now, more focused. Still exhausted, but present. Nothing I can't handle, I said. Yunwoo. He squeezed my hand weakly. Don't lie to me. Fine, Senator Park called, made vague threats about Minjae, tried to scare me. And I hung up on her. I smiled. Turns out I'm done being scared. Something shifted in Taehyun's expression. Pride, relief. Good. Good, I raised an eyebrow. That's all you have to say? Not we need to increase security or I'll handle this? No. Taehyun struggled to sit up, wincing. I immediately moved to help him, adjusting the pillows. Because you're right. We're done running, done hiding, done letting other people control our lives. We? We. He met my eyes. If you'll have me, have us. My throat tightened. Taehyun, I know I don't deserve it. His voice was raw, honest. I know I have 4 years of missed birthdays to make up for. 4 years of bedtime stories I'll never get back. But Yunwoo, I want to try. I want to be there. For both of you, if you'll let me. I thought about saying no, about protecting my heart one more time. But then I remembered Minjae's face when he called Taehyun daddy. The pure joy, the instant connection. I remembered Taehyun taking a knife meant for me. I remembered 4 years of wondering what if. On one condition, I said, anything. No more secrets. No more protecting me from things you think I can't handle. We're partners, equals, or this doesn't work. Partners, Taehyun agreed, equals. And you have to learn to make japchae. Minjae loves it, and I'm tired of being the only one who knows how. Despite the pain he must have been in, Taehyun laughed. Deal. Good. I leaned forward, pressing my forehead to his. Because I'm really tired of doing this alone. You'll never be alone again, he whispered. I promise. Don't make promises you can't keep. I never do. His hand found the back of my neck, pulling me closer. Our lips met softly, carefully, like we were both afraid of breaking something precious. When we pulled apart, Taehyun's eyes were bright. Marry me, I blinked. What? Marry me. Bond with me. Let me do this right. He reached for the velvet box on the side table, the one I'd set there hours ago. I've been carrying this ring for 4 years. I'd like to finally see it on your finger. You just got stabbed. You're on pain medication. This is not the time for major life decisions. This is exactly the time. Taehyun opened the box. The silver band gleamed in the fluorescent hospital light. Because I almost died without telling you how much you mean to me. Without making this official. I'm not making that mistake again. Tears burned behind my eyes. You're impossible. Is that a yes? It's a, ask me again when you're not high on morphine. I'm not high. You're definitely high. Fine. Taehyun set the box down. I'll ask again tomorrow. And the day after that, and every day until you say yes. That's stalking. That's commitment. I laughed, cried, kissed him again. Yes, I whispered against his lips. You idiot? Yes. Taehyun's smile was brighter than the sun. He slipped the ring onto my finger with trembling hands. It fit perfectly, like it had been waiting 4 years for this exact moment. I love you, he said. I love you too. I kissed his knuckles. Now rest, before you tear your stitches, and I have to explain to Minjae why his father is an idiot. Our son, Taehyun corrected, his eyes already drifting closed. Our family. Our family. The words felt right, like coming home. 2 weeks later, Appa, you're doing it wrong. I looked down at the pile of Legos scattered across the living room floor. How am I doing it wrong? This is exactly how the instructions show. But it's not cool, Minjae insisted. He turned to Taehyun, who was watching from the couch with an amused smile. Daddy, tell him. Your Appa's way is fine, Taehyun said diplomatically. Traitor, I muttered. Minjae giggled and threw a Lego at me. We were in Taehyun's penthouse, which had somehow become our home in the chaos of the last 2 weeks. The safe house was nice, but this place had everything Minjae needed. Space, security, a view of the city that made him gasp every morning. Jaewon was in custody. Senator Park's investigation had uncovered enough corruption to keep her busy for years. And we'd hired the best security team money could buy. Things weren't perfect. I still had nightmares. Minjae still asked questions about the fire. And Taehyun still carried guilt about the years he'd lost. But we were here, together, figuring it out. Appa, Minjae looked up at me with those 2 wise eyes. Are you and Daddy going to get married? I glanced at Taehyun. He raised an eyebrow, leaving the answer to me. Yeah, baby, I said. We are. Can I be the ring bearer? Absolutely. And can we get a dog? Don't push your luck. Minjae grinned and went back to his Legos. Taehyun patted the couch beside him. I abandoned the Lego project and settled against his side, careful of his still-healing wound. Happy? He asked quietly. I looked around the room, at Minjae playing, at the ring on my finger, at the life we were building from the ashes of what we'd lost. Yeah, I said, I really am. Taehyun kissed my temple. Me too. My phone buzzed. A message from Seokjin. Coffee tomorrow? I want all the details about this fancy new life of yours. I smiled and typed back. You're buying. I've been through enough. Fair. See you at 10. I set the phone down and snuggled closer to Taehyun. What are you thinking about? He asked. How 4 years ago I thought my life was over. And now? I trailed off. And now? Now I think it's just beginning. Taehyun's arm tightened around me. Our beginning. Our beginning, I agreed. Minjae's voice interrupted the moment. Daddy, can you help me with this part? Of course. Taehyun pressed one more kiss to my hair before sliding off the couch. I watched them together, heads bent over the Lego instructions, Taehyun's large hands guiding Minjae's small ones. 4 years of pain, 4 years of running, but we'd made it, all three of us. And whatever came next, we'd face it together, as a family. 6 months later, the bonding ceremony was small, just close friends. Seokjin stood as my witness. Daehyun stood as Taehyun's. And Minjae, dressed in a tiny suit that made him look impossibly grown up, held the rings. When Taehyun bit down on my bonding gland, the world exploded into sensation. His scent, his emotions, his love pouring through the bond so intensely I gasped. And when I bit him back, marking him as mine the way he'd marked me, I felt complete for the first time in my life. "I've got you," Taehyun whispered as the bond settled. "Always." "I know," I whispered back. "I've got you too." Minjae cheered. "Does this mean we can get a dog now?" Everyone laughed. And later, when we were alone in our bedroom, the bond humming between us like a live wire, Taehyun pulled me close. "No regrets?" he asked. "Not a single one." "Good." He kissed me slowly, thoroughly. "Because you're stuck with me now." "Forever?" "Forever." I smiled against his lips. Forever sounded perfect. Like, comment, subscribe, and click on the notification bell. Thanks for watching.